Very good morning, students. Myself B K Singh, your science teacher from Oriental Public School, Kishanganj. Dear students, today we will start the chapter Propagation of Light and Formation of Image. Dear students, first of all we should understand what is light. So students, light we can say the form of energy that helps us in seeing the objects from which it gets reflected. Second thing is friends, the object from which we get light are known as sources of light. And as friends, sources of light are of two types, and these are natural source of light and artificial sources of light. So natural means those source which occurs in the nature in our surrounding naturally, like sun. Sun is the natural source of light, whereas the artificial source of light, for example, bulb. The bulb is the artificial source of light. Now, after this, student will discuss rectilinear propagation of light. So, rectilinear propagation of light means light travels in a straight line. So, how can we say? For this, we will have to do one experiment, and in experiment, first of all, we'll take a burning candle, you can see here on the table, and then we'll take a straight rubber pipe which is flexible also, and after this we'll have to make the rubber tube straight toward the burning candle, toward the flame of the burning candle. So in that case, we'll find that light will travel and it will pass through the pipe and it will fall to our eyes, and we will be able to see the flame of the burning candle. But student, as we will bend the rubber tube, as here it has been tried to show that if we will bend the rubber tube, after bending it, we won't be able to see the burning. The flame of the burning candle. Why it is? Because now light is falling on the opening of the tube, but it do not travels through the curved path. That's why it is not passing through the pipe and it is not falling on our eyes. So from this experiment, we conclude that the light travels in a straight line always. And after this, student will discuss reflection of light. So what is reflection of light? For that one, student, we can see this one in this way also. Okay, suppose this is a reflecting surface. So if light falls on it and after striking it, it gets reflected back in the same direction. So it is same as if we'll throw a ball on a surface. After throwing it, it will get reflected back in the same medium. In the same way, light also falls on a surface, and after falling and striking on it, it gets reflected back in the same medium. This bouncing back of light from reflecting surface is known as reflection of light. After this, student will discuss reflection of light on a plane mirror. So reflection of light on a plane mirror. For this, student will have to understand few terms, and these are optical medium, incident ray, point of incidence, reflected ray, normal, angle of incidence, and angle of reflection. So first of all, students, will discuss what is optical medium. So students, optical medium is the medium through which light passes is known as optical medium. Students, medium like water, glass, air, they are some medium through which light passes easily. That's why these are the examples of, that means glass, air, water. These are the some examples of optical medium. Next term, student, is incident ray. Incident ray, what is incident ray? We can say a ray of light coming from a source striking a given surface is known as incident ray. Here in this figure you can see this is the surface, reflecting surface, and a ray which is coming from a source and it is striking on this surface. So this ray is known as incident ray. After incident ray, we will discuss point of incident. Point of incidence. So what is point of incidence? The point at which the incident ray meets the plane mirror of reflecting surface. That means suppose this is the reflecting surface and the point where the incident ray meets. So this point, at this point we will say the point. At this point we will say this is the point of incidence. And after this student, now we will discuss point, that is reflected ray. What is reflected ray? You can see in this figure here on the striking surface. When incident ray falls, after falling it gets reflected back in the same direction. No. So this ray which is getting reflected is known as reflected ray. After that student will discuss normal. What is normal? The perpendicular line to the reflecting surface at the point of incident is known as normal. That means suppose this is a striking surface and this is the incident ray and this is the point of incident, and from point of incident if we draw a straight line, that is perpendicular line, so this perpendicular will be said as the normal. This will be said as normal. This normal. And after this we will discuss the angle of incidence. Angle of incidence, student. See, suppose this is a striking surface. On this a incident ray, and from this point of incident if we are drawing a normal. So we can say, student, angle of incidence, the angle between incident ray and the normal. That means this angle is known as angle of incident ray incidence, and this is also represented by small I. Next one is angle of reflection. So the angle between normal and reflected ray is known as angle of reflection. In this figure, see, student, after striking on the surface, if the ray gets reflected in this direction, so in this case it is making an angle, and this angle is between normal and the reflected ray, and this angle is represented by a small r. So this is known as angle of reflection. After this, student will discuss law of reflection of light. So students, there are two laws of reflection of light. These, number one, first is the angle of incident is equal to the angle of reflection. That means if you see here in this two ray, angle of incident is this and this is the angle of reflection. So both the angle will always be equal. This is the first law of the reflection of light. Second law is we can say the incident ray, the normal at the point of incident, and the reflected ray all lie in the same plane. In this figure you can say that is incident ray at the point of incident, normal at the point of incident, and the reflected ray all lie in the same plane. This is the same plane. That means all these things, incident ray, normal at the point of incident, and reflected ray will all lie in the same plane. So this is the second law of reflection of light. After this, student, we will discuss the image formed by a plane mirror in the next video. And till then, I am summarizing my lecture, and thank you for watching this video, and stay home and stay safe. Thank you.